for longest three ball. Fever get a quick stop. Mitchell, the underhand pass, the step through. Wallace corner back to Mitchell. Step back three. You bet.
Oh, Kelsey Mitchell. Foul on Tina Charles inside, working hard.
Oh, Mitchell, no look. Boston, extra pass. Wallace knocks down a three.
The Atlanta Dream just learned a $16 million lesson. That's how much their 16-point lead was worth before it slipped away. Now, Coach Tanisha Wright is breaking down the costly mistakes that led to this epic collapse. Are you ready to see how the pros handle a tough loss? Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. Do you believe it's bad to let up a 16-point lead? Await the news regarding the third quarter curse of the Dream. It seems as though they had forgotten how to shoot hoops for a full 12 minutes. However, why does this continue to occur? Imagine this. The Atlanta Dream enters the third quarter with a sense of complete dominance. With a comfortable 16-point advantage, everything appears to be working in their favor. It feels like victory is almost here. The energy is electrifying and the supporters are humming. Then though, something changes. A missied shot here. A turnover there is where it all begins. Not a huge thing, is it? False. These little errors add up. And before you know it, the Fever are making money off of each and every one of them. That offensive line for the Dream that was so fluid in the first half. Suddenly, it's stuttering like an antiquated automobile engine. This is when things get really crazy though. Blood can be detected in the water by Caitlin Clark and the Fever. They're using a sledgehammer on the lead, not simply slowly cutting it away. As teammates are being found left and right by Clark's accurate passes, the Dream's defense appears to be playing in quicksand. What could be even more absurd? This is not a strange incident. The Dream's difficulties throughout the third quarter have followed them the entire season. It functions as a clock. They establish a lead early on and then poof. Everything vanishes more quickly than free pizza in a dorm during college.
Mitchell drives inside. The left hand will fall. Gets the roll and a foul. For longest three ball. Fever get a quick stop. Mitchell, the underhand pass, the step through. Wallace on the attack, tough shot, but there's Boston to clean up.
Let's dissect it. The offensive line of the Dream falters. The ones that had been dropping earlier, they are now clanking off the rim as if the basket had a lid. I won't even begin to discuss the turnovers. It feels like the Fever are getting free basketballs in exchange. It goes beyond the crime though. The defense of the Dream also decides to take an early holiday. They find it impossible to remain in front of others. It seems as though the lane is not there at all as Clark and her teammates speed past it. Sadly for the Dream, they are the awkward dancers stumbling over their own feet in this basketball ballet. You may be thinking, well, it's true that they had a rough quarter. It does occur, correct? Here's the real deal though. For the Dream, this third quarter battle is nothing new. They have been plagued by this pattern the entire season, so why are they unable to go past it? Is the problem with conditioning? Should they change up their halftime show, or do they just think about it? They're losing games, whatever it is, and this one against the Fever may be the most agonizing one yet. Consider it. It takes a lot of work to get a 16-point advantage. You're confident that you've won this game and are feeling happy, and then everything collapses in a matter of 12 minutes. That is not only annoying, but downright discouraging. Here's the crucial query though. How can one resolve an issue such as this? It's not as though the Dream is unaware of its existence. By now, they had to be aware of this plague of the third quarter. What then is the remedy? More rigorous methods, conditioning of the mind, a dance party at halftime to maintain the momentum. Consider Caitlin Clark to be an ordinary rookie. Rethink your thoughts. Not even close, she just schooled an entire team of pros. The hard way, taught the Atlanta Dream that this first-year phenomenon is anything but typical. Clark performed a clinic. She didn't just show up. We're talking about 12 assists and 26 points. That is the output of an experienced all-star, not a rookie. The bizarre thing is that it went beyond the numbers. That's how she obtained them. And imagine this. At the top of the key, Clark has the ball. They believe they have contained the Dream and have set up her defense. defense. But then, with a pass no one else even noticed, she's threading the needle in the blink of an eye. Alternatively, she's setting herself up for a three-pointer that leaves the defense perplexed. She appears to be playing chess when everyone else is engaged in checkers. However, never entertain the notion that Clark was a one-woman show. The Fever struck with a well-balanced offensive that turned the heads of the Dream. Boston Leo, she scored more than 30 points and pulled down 13 rebounds. Not to be outdone, Kelsey Mitchell added 21 points of her own. The Dream appears to be playing whack-a-mole. One player would be eliminated, and then two would appear. Boston would take control inside while they concentrated on Clark. Mitchell would make buckets of threes while they tried to contain the paint. It was an ideal storm for powerful assault weaponry. What's wild, you know? Tanisha Wright, the coach of the Dream, anticipated it. She wasn't subtle about it after the game. She remarked, "They have a really good balance of inside-outside attack, you know, so it poses problems in terms of who pick your poison. In coaching parlance, it means that we were in trouble no matter what we did." Let's examine what caused this Fever attack to be so deadly. Clark is the one who is in charge of everything to start. She possesses the agility to make difficult passes appear simple, the shooting touch to keep opponents honest, and the vision to see plays before they happen. Then there is Boston, who controls the paint, collecting rebounds and scoring points whenever they want. And just when you believe you understand those two, Mitchell enters the scene with her sophisticated jumper. It resembles trying to repair holes in a ship that is sinking. The Fever would devise a fresh offensive strategy, and the Dream would adapt accordingly. Clark would start dropping dimes as they concentrated on getting the drive to stop. They would attempt to remove the three-point line, and Boston would enjoy themselves inside. The thing that truly makes Clark stand out, though, is her basketball IQ. She reads the defense, anticipates their moves, and counters instead of just making plays. She seems to have a basketball cheat code. She's calling her own number and draining a critical 3-1 moment, then she's setting up a teammate for an easy bucket the next. Not to be overlooked is the mental game. It's difficult enough to blow a 16-point lead, but what about when a novice is taking apart your strategy? That must be discouraging. Clark and the Fever always had a new inquiry, even when the Dream believed they had an answer. Tanisha Wright took center stage after the game, even if Caitlin Clark may have taken the show. Her frank and scathing assessment of the Dream's performance?
I like this matchup on Dangerfield, draws the double. Got clock down to 5, Wheeler pulls up and connects.
Screen assist, Clark.
Wheeler lobs it back, they look Boston's direction again, and Aaliyah Boston cashing in. It's been a Boston beatdown here in the first. Wallace corner back to Mitchell, step back three, you bet!
Oh, Kelsey Mitchell!
That could be the wake-up call that saves their entire season. A coach would probably be speechless after blowing a 16-point lead, but Tanisha Wright wasn't. Everyone's mouth dropped when she delivered some brutal realities with such force. Wright did not mince words. She named that loss what it was, a learning opportunity, and met it squarely in the eye. "We have to use this as an opportunity to continue to learn and grow," Wright added. Folks, that's not just coach jargon. That is a call to arms. Wright is not merely discussing adjusting a few plays or conducting more drills. She refers to a total psychological makeover. Consider it. That game was in the bag for the Dream. Feeling fantastic, they were cruising and perhaps even planning their post-game festivities. And then, whoosh, everything collapsed. Not all collapses of such nature take place on the court. It all begins in your mind. Wright is aware of this. She isn't focusing on the turnovers or the missed shoots because of this. She is considering the wider picture. How can one recover from such a setback? How can you ensure that it doesn't occur once more? This is when the exciting part starts. Wright is not examining this game in a vacuum. She perceives it as a component of a larger pattern. The entire season, the Dream have had trouble finishing games. It seems like they lose their basketball skills in the fourth quarter. Wright, though, isn't giving up.
Parker married in the offseason. Clark catch and shoot, hits a three.
Foul on Tina Charles inside, working hard.
Oh, Mitchell, no look. Boston, extra pass. Wallace knocks down a three. There are turnovers on back-to-back possessions. Here is Parker Tyus going at Smith.
Not at all. This loss is fueling her. She is pushing her team to take initiative, grow from their mistakes, and become stronger. Not everything is about X's and O's. It concerns mental fortitude. What's wild, you know? Wright's strategy might be just what the dream requires. Consider it. They possess talent. They've proven they can generate large leads. All they have to do now is figure out how to hang on to them. Wright's remarks go beyond mere platitudes. She is outlining a course of action for development. It all comes down to finishing games and maintaining concentration under duress. In essence, she's saying, yeah, we made a mistake. However, we refuse to let it define who we are. The crucial point is this though, is the dream genuinely capable of succeeding? Can they heed Wright's advice and make things better? Talking about rebounding back is one thing. To really put it into practice is a whole other story. Wright's leadership is useful in this situation. She's not merely pontificating, she is acting appropriately. She was already planning for after the game. We can't have a hangover right from our disappointment of losing this, she remarked. That coach is keeping her players from sinking into self-pity. Picture yourself in the changing room following the match. You just threw away a huge lead. You're depressed, possibly even ashamed. Your coach then enters the room to push you to improve rather than to yell or point fingers. That is some strong stuff. The foundation of Wright's strategy is resilience. It's about absorbing a blow and rising again. That kind of mental toughness may mean the difference between making the playoffs and watching from home in the WNBA, where every game matters.